2 hours. Funny thing about time, people think it moves in straight lines, ticking politely like a good little servant. But when something big is about to happen, time starts to twitch. You can feel it in the air, can't you? That strange pressure in your lungs, that little spark under your skin, like the world is whispering a secret straight into your ear, and you're trying so hard to keep your face calm, your voice steady, pretend nothing unusual is happening, even though you know something is coming, something that wants to kick the door open and change everything. The tension of waiting transforms ordinary moments into powerful ones. Funny how people underestimate that. They think power is in loud declarations, in dramatic entrances, in the crash and boom of big events. But real power, it lives in the silent spaces before anything happens, in the tiny ticking seconds where everyone else is too distracted, too bored, too blind to notice what's shifting beneath their feet. Waiting isn't empty. Oh no, it's packed to the brim with potential. It's like holding a lit match near a fuse, watching that dangerous little glow tremble, knowing one breath, one move, 1 second could change the whole world. Most people run from that feeling. They cover it with noise, with chatter, with distractions, because the quiet is too honest. It shows them what they're afraid to see, but not you. You feel the weight of a moment stretching itself, pulling tighter and tighter, like a rubber band begging to snap. And in that stretch, in that beautiful tension, something inside you wakes up. You start noticing things differently. The way people walk, unaware of the invisible countdown humming through the room. The way the air feels thicker, heavier, almost charged, as if electricity is crawling under the floor. Suddenly, the ordinary isn't ordinary anymore. A clock ticking becomes a drum. Footsteps echo like warnings. Even your own heartbeat feels louder, more purposeful, like it knows something you're still figuring out. That's the magic of waiting. It turns the mundane into a stage, the routine into a ritual. It sharpens your senses, sharpens your instincts, sharpens you. You're no longer drifting through time. Time is circling around you, watching you, measuring you, and every second you don't break, every second you stay steady, every second you stay aware, you grow stronger. People walking past, you might think you're calm, relaxed even. They don't realize you're sitting in the eye of a storm only you can feel. They don't see the calculations flickering behind your eyes, the quiet intensity pressing against your bones. They don't feel the anticipation humming in your chest like a distant engine ready to roar. Waiting is supposed to be boring, they say. But that's only true for those who don't understand its power. When you know something is coming, something good, something big, something that will tilt the world just a little, waiting becomes addictive. It becomes a game between you and fate, between you and time itself. And the best part, time doesn't know how to deal with someone who isn't afraid of it. You start to realize that the tension isn't your enemy, it's your teacher. It trains your patience, your composure, your ability to hold steady while everything hints at changing. It teaches you self-control, not the forced kind, but the kind born from excitement held tightly under your tongue. It teaches you observation, because in these quiet stretches, every detail matters. And most importantly, it teaches you presence, real presence. The kind where you're not clinging to the past or leaping into the future, but standing still in the exact second you're in, aware of how precious and fragile and powerful that second actually is. The truth is, moments before transformation are often more important than the transformation itself. These are the moments where your mind decides whether you're ready, where your spirit adjusts itself steady, itself sharpens itself. It's like the world pauses, even if just for a breath, to ask you a silent question. Are you prepared for what comes next? And you answer not with words, but with your posture, your breath, your stillness, your quiet, burning anticipation. The tension shapes you, molds you, tests the cracks in your resolve. It whispers the truth that most people never hear. That power does to come from the event. It comes from the readiness for the event. So here you are, sitting in a moment that seems small to everyone else, but feels enormous to you, and you're right to feel that way. Time is leaning in your direction. The air is shifting, something is approaching, and the tension is merely its shadow arriving before the body. This is where ordinary moments become powerful, because you're no longer just passing through them. You're gripping them, feeling them pulse, listening to what they're trying to tell you. Every second stretches, and inside that stretch, you discover a version of yourself you don't meet in calm days. A version that watches closely, breathes deeply, and welcomes the quiet storm of anticipation. Like an old friend, good news carries a different kind of energy, quiet but unstoppable. It doesn't stomp its feet or rattle the windows like the bad kind does. No, good news likes to slip into the room like a whisper you can't quite catch, but you feel it brushing the back of your neck. It's delicate on the surface, almost polite, yet underneath it has this wicked little spark, this pressure that builds and builds until suddenly everything feels different. That's the trick of it. Bad news crashes. Good news crawls. And it's the crawling that gets inside your head. You ever notice how people sense something before they understand it? They straighten their posture. They look around just a little too quickly. Their skin tingles, their stomach tightens, their breathing shifts. They know something is coming, but they don't know what. And the funny part is, good news doesn't panic anyone the way bad news does. Oh no, it just makes them uneasy in a softer, stranger way. Because good news demands a kind of vulnerability. People can handle disaster. They practice it daily in their minds. But good things, real, unexpected, life-tilting good things, those make people nervous. They don't know how to hold them. Good news is like a secret breeze passing through a closed room. It changes the temperature without asking permission. You can feel it before you can name it. You don't see it coming, you sense it coming. It's in the way your thoughts suddenly sharpen. The way your heartbeat picks up, like it's trying to beat ahead of its own rhythm. It's in the sudden silence inside your head, a quiet you didn't ask for, but now you can't shake. It's almost mischievous, the way good news toys with you before you even know what it is, like it's enjoying the suspense more than you are. And as it creeps closer, it doesn't thunder, it hums. A low, subtle vibration that feels like someone tapping gently on the inside of your skull. You start replaying memories, rethinking conversations, scanning the present for clues. Something is coming, you tell yourself. And the wild part, you start hoping without even meaning to. Hope is a dangerous little thing. It pretends it's soft, but once it gets its fingers around your insides, it squeezes. Good news uses that. It doesn't arrive with fanfare. It arrives with tension, disguised as excitement. People think good news shows up wrapped in fireworks, but the truth is, it prefers shadows. It lurks in the corners of your thoughts. It stands behind you while you're pretending to focus on something else. And when you finally notice it, it gives you that little jolt in the spine. Not fear, recognition, like you've been waiting for something you couldn't explain, and now suddenly, the explanation is staring right back at you. That's why the energy of good news is so strange. It's gentle, but it pulls you in like gravity. Think about how you hold yourself when you know something positive is on its way. You don't slouch. You don't drift. You become alert, alive, almost too aware. Your senses sharpen. Your mind tightens its grip on the moment. You lean forward mentally, physically, like you're trying to peek around the corner of time to see what's arriving. And that's the real power of good news. It wakes you up, not with a scream, but with a subtle tug, a little curl of anticipation hooking into your ribs. It reminds you that something better than the present is waiting to step inside. Good news doesn't demand attention. It earns it, not through volume, but through presence. It fills a space without making a sound. It nudges you, nudges the air, nudges the mood, until suddenly the whole atmosphere feels tilted, charged in a way that only you can feel. Everyone else might be moving normally, talking normally, breathing normally, but you feel the shift. You feel the flutter under your skin. You feel that low electric buzz that tells you something bright is pushing through the cracks. See, good news has a way of slipping under your defenses. It crawls in quietly, rearranging things without asking, lighting little fires in places you thought were cold. It doesn't force itself in. It waits, builds, grows, until its presence is undeniable. And once you sense it, really sense it, there's no going back to that calm, blank neutrality, because suddenly every second feels heavier with possibility, every breath sharper, every moment more alive. Good news may be quiet, but once it touches you, nothing around you stays the same. Secrets create focus, discipline, and inner strength, but not the kind people preach about in neat little motivational books. No, the real kind of discipline, the sharp, electric, intoxicating kind, comes from holding something inside you that nobody else knows. A secret is like a living creature tucked behind your ribs. It paces, whispers, scratches, reminding you it's there. And the more you protect it, the more it strengthens you from the inside out. Most people think secrets are heavy, but the truth is they make you lighter. They force your mind to tighten, your senses to sharpen, your emotions to march in a straight line. It's almost poetic how silence becomes a weapon, how restraint becomes power. You see, when you carry a secret, especially one glowing with promise, the whole world starts to look different. Every sound becomes clear. Every heartbeat echoes louder. Every second stretches like a thin thread you can almost hear vibrating. People around you talk, laugh, complain, wander through their day without a clue that you are holding something that could tilt the ground under their feet. And that quiet difference, that invisible divide between what they know and what you know, creates a strange kind of discipline. The kind that does come from effort, but from awareness. A secret teaches you control, not the stiff, robotic kind, but that delicious, precise sort of control where every expression on your face becomes intentional. Every word you choose is deliberate. You don't blurt, you don't ramble, you don't crack. You hold your ground with the calm confidence of someone holding a spark in their hands and choosing not to drop it. People underestimate silence, but silence is focus. Silence is power. Silence is the inner voice saying, "Not yet, not now, wait." And waiting when you are armed with a secret feels less like patience and more like discipline forged in fire. And let's talk about that strength, that inner backbone a secret builds. It is funny how simply not speaking becomes an exercise in endurance. You want to smile wider than you should. You want to laugh when no one else gets the joke. You want to drop hints, tease, let a little of it slip just to see how people react. But you don't. You hold it tight, and in that holding your willpower grows teeth. It gnaws at your weakness. It trains you. You start to learn the art of keeping your excitement under control, your anticipation on a leash. That strength most people never develop because they spill everything the moment they feel it. And then there's the focus. A secret forces your mind to track every detail, every shift in the room, every question someone asks. You become hyper-aware, scanning for any sign that someone suspects what you're hiding. Not out of fear, no. Fear is for those who don't enjoy the game, but out of instinct. Instinct to protect, instinct to preserve, instinct to stay in control of the narrative. A secret sharpens your mind the way a blade meets a stone. You think clearer. You move smarter. You choose better. It's like you're constantly 2 steps ahead because while everyone else is living on the surface, you're operating layers deeper. People forget that secrets aren't just about hiding. Secrets are about holding. Holding energy, holding knowledge, holding the weight of something that's not ready to be released. That pressure creates an inner gravity. It pulls your scattered thoughts inward. It centers you, straightens you, keeps you alert. And discipline grows naturally from that center, like a shadow stretching behind something solid. You don't even have to force it. The secret does the work for you. And strength, real strength, comes from resisting the urge to share, from resisting the desire to let the world peek inside your excitement. Most people can't do that. They want the relief of release. They crave validation, attention, applause. But the one holding a secret doesn't need applause. They have something better, purpose, a direction that no one else can interfere with, a mission sealed inside their own chest. And that creates a resilience that doesn't bend easily. It's almost amusing how people look at you thinking you're just going about your day like them. Meanwhile, you're walking around with a quiet storm under your skin. Not a destructive storm, but a purposeful one. A storm that concentrates your energy, your thoughts, your strength into a single point. And in that point, you become unshakable, because a secret isn't just something you keep. It's something that shapes you, focuses you, disciplines you, and builds an inner strength that grows sharper every second you hold it close. The anticipation sharpens perception and heightens awareness. It's a curious thing, isn't it? People think they notice the world clearly, that their senses are tuned, that they see everything that matters. But real awareness doesn't come from comfort. Real awareness comes when you know something is about to happen, when a shift is creeping toward you like a predator in the dark, and you don't know exactly what it will do. That's when your senses stretch, tingle, scream for attention. Your eyes start catching details others miss, the slight twitch in a stranger's hand, the irregular rhythm of a passing car, the faint hum in the air that feels like it's humming just for you. And you notice it because anticipation has wired your brain to hunt, to wait, to feel every tremor before the world even knows it trembled. When you're waiting for something big, your body becomes a radar, finely tuned to every sound, every shadow, every shift in temperature. You hear footsteps differently, not just their rhythm, but the weight behind them. You feel the air differently, not just its movement, but its pressure against your skin. You even smell differently, catching nuances in familiar places as if reality itself is trying to whisper a secret, a warning, or a promise. Ordinary moments become amplified. A paper crumpling in the trash isn't just a paper crumpling, it's a signal. A door closing isn't just a door, it's a beat in the rhythm of anticipation. And with every beat, your awareness sharpens. Your perception grows more acute until you're operating in a different dimension of reality that most people can't even imagine exists. Anticipation isn't passive. It doesn't let you drift along like a leaf on the wind. No. Anticipation grips you by the spine and shakes you awake. It forces you to notice the small, insignificant details that hold hidden meaning. A glance across the room, a twitch of a lip, a sigh caught between words, all these become clues, puzzles, pieces of a story you're trying to assemble before the climax hits. The world becomes layered, complex, intricate, and you are the only one fully awake to see it. And that's intoxicating because most people live their lives half blind, their senses dulled by habit, by routine, by the comfort of ignorance. But you are on edge, alive, aware. You start to notice the rhythm of time itself. Seconds stretch and compress, not evenly, but in pulses that correspond to your internal clock, which is now tuned to the approaching event. 1 second feels like eternity, another like a blink. And in that strange rhythm, your mind is alive with possibilities. Every heartbeat becomes a drum, every inhale a countdown. And your attention isn't scattered, it's concentrated, honed, and relentless. You can feel the world unfolding, and in that feeling, you are more present than you've ever been before. It's exhilarating, terrifying, deliciously unsettling. Anticipation sharpens perception in ways that extend beyond the physical senses. It reaches into thought, intuition, judgment. You start seeing patterns where none existed before. Connections that were invisible now scream at you. Decisions you might have ignored in ordinary moments demand attention. Your instincts are heightened, alive, whispering warnings and opportunities at the same time. It's as if the universe is handing you a magnifying glass and a scalpel and saying, look closer, act carefully, and you do. Because anticipation has made you dangerous, not violent, but precise, unflinching, aware. And the more you wait, the more your awareness deepens. Ordinary distractions fade away. Conversations you overhear become data. Movements you notice become signals. Even your own body becomes a tool for sensing the world. Every twitch and tension a calibration. You start reading micro-expressions, subtle cues, tiny inconsistencies that most people would dismiss. And with each observation, your anticipation sharpens. Your mind hones itself like a blade, slicing through noise and triviality to catch the pulse of reality, the heartbeat of the approaching moment. Anticipation turns fear into clarity. Nervous energy becomes attention. Doubt becomes calculation. Your entire being channels itself into the single axis of perception. You become present in a way that's almost painful in its intensity. The world around you continues unaware, but you are awake in a way that borders on frightening because you are feeling the weight of what's about to happen, the tension of what's coming, the energy that will crash into existence, whether anyone is ready or not. And that energy anticipation is what transforms perception from ordinary to extraordinary, from casual observation to hyper-awareness, from seeing to truly knowing that the unknown fuels courage and readiness, but not the kind of courage people talk about in textbooks or fancy speeches. No, this courage is messy. It's raw. It creeps in like a shadow that refuses to leave. It's not loud or heroic at first. It starts as a twitch under your skin, a whisper in your mind, a pulse that tells you something is coming, and you have no idea what it is. That uncertainty, that deliciously dangerous unknown, is what sharpens the edges of your resolve. People think fear paralyzes you. Maybe sometimes it does, but when you embrace the unknown, fear transforms into a kind of fuel. It ignites a spark, and that spark becomes readiness. It becomes action. It becomes the jittery, exhilarating kind of courage that sits just beneath your ribs and waits for the right moment to roar. There's a thrill in not knowing. Most people run from it. They cling to routine, to predictability, to explanations that are neat and tidy. But the unknown is alive. It's breathing. It shifts and stretches around you, teasing, tempting, prodding you to react. It forces you to pay attention, to feel every twitch in your body, every tension in your surroundings. You start noticing things that don't make sense. Things that hint at what's coming. Your mind becomes a trap for details, a magnet for patterns that the unprepared would miss. And in this heightened state, courage doesn't ask permission. It simply rises because you can feel the world pressing at you, and your survival, your opportunity, your very presence depends on it. Readiness is born from this chaos. It's a strange, beautiful byproduct of stepping into the unknown willingly. You learn to move without hesitation, to act without overthinking, to trust the instincts that grow sharper the more uncertain the situation becomes. Every shadow, every flicker, every whisper becomes a signal, and you begin to respond with a precision that surprises even yourself. The unknown is demanding. It doesn't allow sloppy thinking, careless movements, or weak hearts. It forces you to stretch, to expand, to meet it on its terms. And in that stretch, courage grows, steady and relentless, like a muscle exercised by tension and challenge. You start to understand that the unknown doesn't care about your comfort, your plans, or your expectations. It has its own rules. It has its own timing. It has its own consequences. And the funny thing is, the closer you get to it, the more you realize how much it depends on you. Your reaction, your focus, your willingness to face it head on, that is what shapes the outcome. Fear used to be a chain. Now it's a tool. Doubt used to be a weight. Now it's a gauge. And in this new dynamic, courage doesn't feel like a choice. It feels like a requirement, the only way to survive the invisible pressure built around you. There's an intimacy with the unknown that most people never experience. You start talking to it in your own way. You study it. You feel it in the rhythm of your heartbeat. You sense its moods in the subtle changes around you. And the more you interact with it, the less terrifying it becomes, even while it remains unpredictable. You learn that you don't need to control it. You only need to prepare for it, to sharpen yourself like a blade, to hold your senses ready for the moment it strikes. And that preparation is intoxicating because it gives you a sense of power that is invisible to everyone else, a quiet mastery over something the world fears. Courage born of the unknown is different from bravery on a stage or valor in the daylight. It's private, it's internal, it's messy and jittery, and at the same time precise. It whispers in your bones that the unexpected is inevitable, and your job isn't to avoid it, but to meet it with awareness, speed, and a strange sense of grace. It teaches patience because timing matters, but it also teaches action because hesitation can be fatal. Every step forward, every breath drawn while facing uncertainty reinforces the spine of your courage. Every observation, every twitch of perception, every decision made under pressure builds readiness like a furnace forging steel inside your chest. And that's the magic of the unknown. It doesn't reward the timid. It doesn't comfort the cautious, but it gives life, sharpens instincts, fuels daring, and forces readiness in ways that certainty could never achieve. The thrill of uncertainty, the tension of mystery, the pulse of what you cannot see, yet know is coming. It drives you, molds you, and prepares you for the moment when courage is no longer an option, but a necessity. Change announces itself subtly before. It arrives loudly, and most people never notice the whisper before the roar. They live their lives expecting the dramatic, the obvious, the explosive. They want fireworks, confetti, grand proclamation. But the truth is, the real shifts, the ones that tear your world apart, or build it anew, arrive quietly first. Like a shadow stretching across the floor, a faint vibration in the air, a ripple beneath calm water. If you're paying attention, you can feel it before anyone else does. You can sense the tilt of reality, the small cracks forming in the walls of routine, the almost invisible signals that the world is about to twist. And that sensing, that noticing, is what separates those who survive from those who merely react. The subtle signs are everywhere if you know where to look. A conversation that seems meaningless on the surface carries undertones that hint at something larger. A glance, a hesitation, a change in tone, tiny things, almost imperceptible, yet they carry the weight of what's coming. Most people overlook them because their attention is scattered, their minds clouded by habit and distraction. But when you're tuned into the prelude of change, you notice everything. The air feels different. Time seems to stretch and compress unnaturally. A sense of expectancy hangs over the scene like a low fog, and you can almost smell the electricity before the storm breaks. That's the magic of subtle signals. They don't scream, they infiltrate. They creep under your skin, twist in your thoughts, and demand that you notice without knowing why. There's a beauty in noticing change before it shouts. It teaches patience, because you can't force the moment to arrive. It teaches observation, because every detail matters. It teaches strategy, because when you sense a shift early, you can prepare while others stumble blind into it. And the power of this awareness isn't in reaction, it's in anticipation. To catch the whisper before the roar is to step ahead of the world, to occupy a space where most people can't even see. That space is dangerous, exhilarating, intoxicating. It hums with tension. It vibrates with possibility. And in that hum, your mind sharpens, your instincts awaken, and your presence becomes a weapon. The arrival of change is inevitable, relentless. The subtle signs are just the first tremors, the gentle tapping at the door before it swings open violently. If you ignore the whispers, you will only feel the roar, unprepared, startled, scrambling to catch up. But if you listen, if you track the shifts, if you feel the rhythm beneath the surface, you can move with it, not against it. You become part of the motion instead of a victim of it. And the funny thing is, nobody notices you noticing. You move in the currents of change like a shadow gliding ahead of the storm, unseen, untouchable, armed with a knowledge others lack. The subtlety of change also teaches humility. You realize that the world is never static, that reality is constantly bending, twisting, mutating in ways too complex to comprehend fully, that small cracks, tiny adjustments, fleeting signals, hold the key to enormous transformation. And when you understand this, you start reading the world differently. You start expecting the invisible to become visible, the quiet to become loud, the minor to become monumental. You become patient with the small, attentive to the almost imperceptible, because you know that everything significant starts as a whisper, and there's a certain thrill in this awareness. To catch the early signs of change is to hold a secret knowledge that others do not have. You walk among people unaware of the shift, carrying a spark of foresight like a flame under your skin. It makes you cautious, yes, but also daring. It forces you to observe, to calculate, to prepare. It makes ordinary moments electric, because you know the calm is only temporary, the surface only deceptive. Every sound, every movement, every detail becomes loaded with meaning, pregnant with potential. Subtle announcements of change aren't just warnings, they are invitations to adapt, to evolve, to act before the world forces your hand. They are nudges that the universe is about to rewrite the rules, and your choice is either to anticipate, to move deliberately, or to react blindly. The quiet before the storm is the most powerful place to stand. You can feel the energy building in the shadows, in the corners, in the cracks of routine. And in that energy, in that waiting, your senses sharpen, your mind accelerates, your focus tightens, and you become more alive than you have ever been. Change whispers before it roars, and those whispers are weapons for those who notice. They teach you to see, to feel, to wait, to prepare. They give you the edge. They shape you into someone who doesn't just survive the inevitable, they anticipate it, dance with it, and hold themselves ready for the moment when subtlety explodes into reality. The world moves fast, but the quiet signals move faster, and only those awake to them can claim the advantage. Control over information is control over momentum, and that's a dangerous kind of power, isn't it? Most people think power is in the loud declarations, in the commands, in the visible dominance, but real power, real intoxicating, twisted power hides in the quiet, in the things you don't say, in the knowledge you clutch to yourself like a dagger beneath your coat. Information is a living thing. It moves, it shifts, it changes the way people think, feel, and act. And if you can hold it, if you can guide it, if you can decide who knows and who doesn't, you control the flow of reality itself. Momentum becomes yours to shape. People stumble because they are at the mercy of what they don't know, but you are playing a game they can't even see. Think about it. Every moment someone else acts, it is because of what they think is true, and truth is malleable. Truth bends under pressure, under persuasion, under secrecy. If you control the facts, if you control the timing of revelation, you control their perception. And perception, my friend, is the engine of action. You can't make someone move faster, slower, hesitate, leap, fall, rise, all with a subtle shift in the information you release. It's a dangerous dance because it requires patience, cunning, precision. One slip, one extra word, one careless glance, and momentum flips from your hands and tumbles into theirs. But when done right, it's intoxicating. You become the unseen conductor of events, a ghost in the machinery, guiding the world without anyone realizing it. There's a thrill in this kind of control. Because while others are reacting, scrambling, guessing, you are orchestrating. You decide what is known, what is hidden, what is teased out like a slow, delicious revelation. You hold back, and the tension grows. The waiting becomes unbearable for those who don't know. And as tension grows, as uncertainty gnaws at them, you become stronger, sharper, untouchable in your silent authority. Momentum bends to your will, because people move in response to what they think is happening, not what is actually happening. And the clever ones, the quiet manipulators, understand that distinction better than anyone. Information is more than knowledge. It is leverage. It is the pulse of action. When you control it, you control timing, you control expectation, you control fear, excitement, hesitation, and anticipation. A single withheld fact can change the outcome of an entire plan. A single revelation at the perfect moment can accelerate events, topple defenses, ignite chaos, or cultivate trust. Timing is everything. Too early, and the impact is lost. Too late, and the opportunity slips through your fingers. But perfectly timed, perfectly measured, and you wield influence the way a sculptor wields a chisel, carving the reactions of others into something you can predict, guide, manipulate. And the fun part? Nobody sees it. People think they are in charge of their actions. They think they are making free choices. But those choices are often the result of invisible nudges, carefully administered by the one who understands the rhythm of information. You control the hints, the whispers, the small slips, the delays, the pauses. You become a shadow in the mind of the world. Every glance, every word, every delay in communication is a tool. Every omission is a lever. And the momentum, the relentless, unstoppable current of action bends quietly to your design because people act based on what they know, not on what is real. But control over information is not just about others. It's also about yourself. Guard it, hone it, measure it, and it will refine your own mind. You see cause and effect with clarity. You anticipate reactions, understand tendencies, and shape the battlefield of thought before anyone else knows they're fighting. It creates patience, discipline, cunning. It trains your instincts, teaches restraint, and sharpens perception. You become alert to nuances, subtle shifts, hidden signals. The world becomes a chessboard, and you are both player and architect of the pieces moving across it. And therein lies the intoxicating truth. Momentum is nothing without control, and control is nothing without secrecy. The more you withhold, the more the world moves according to your design. People don't realize that every step they take, every choice they make, every breath they expend is influenced by the flow of knowledge that you command. That invisible leverage, that silent mastery over what is revealed and what is hidden, becomes the engine of power, the currency of influence, the rhythm of victory. And once you taste it, once you feel the subtle pulse of events bend to your will, you start to understand that the real game is not in action, but in knowing when to act, who to inform, and how to keep the world guessing while you shape the outcome behind the curtain. You know, the funny thing about life is just when you think it's all falling apart, that's when something big is about to happen. Oh, but not in a way you'd expect. No, no, no. See, the universe has a sense of humor. It doesn't send you gifts wrapped in shiny paper with a bow on top. Oh, no. It sends storms, chaos, a little suffering, just to see if you can take it. You ever notice how, right before something big happens, life has this funny little way of throwing everything into chaos? Oh, it's not a coincidence. No, 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 it's a setup. Little test. See, the universe doesn't just hand out rewards like candy at a parade. No, it makes sure you deserve them first. And how does it do that? Oh, it shakes things up. It rips the rug right from under your feet. One day, everything seems fine, and the next, boom, gone. Everything starts slipping through your fingers. You wake up and suddenly, the job that felt stable, hanging by a thread. The people you thought would always be there, acting different. Your plans, crumbling faster than a house of cards in a windstorm. It's like everything you worked for is being rearranged without your permission. And it's frustrating, isn't it? Because you start thinking, why me? What did I do to deserve this? But that's the trick, the big joke. You didn't do anything wrong. Life isn't punishing you. Oh no, it's preparing you. And let's be honest, people don't like change. No. They fight it, resist it, scream about how unfair it is. But that's the thing about change. It doesn't care how you feel. It comes anyway. And the more you fight, the harder it hits. Oh, it'll break you down just to see if you can take it. See, most people, when life gets tough, they tap out. They run back to safety, back to what's familiar. But you're different, aren't you? You're starting to see it. You're starting to realize that maybe, just maybe, this isn't the end. Maybe this is just the storm before the calm. The funny thing is, when you're in the middle of it, it never feels like a good thing. Oh no, it feels like hell. The uncertainty, the doubt, the sleepless nights, wondering if everything is about to go up in flames. And the best part, no one warns you. No one tells you, hey, this is just part of the process. Nope, they just watch. Some will even laugh. because people don't understand what they haven't lived through. They'll say things like, maybe it's just not meant for you. Ha ha. That's cute, isn't it? Because what they don't know is that this chaos, it's not a dead end, it's a doorway. But the universe doesn't just open doors. No, it wants to see if you're ready to walk through them. And how does it do that? By tearing apart everything that isn't meant to come with you, by making you uncomfortable, by pushing you to your limits just to see if you'll break or if you'll rise. Because most people, they break, they beg for things to go back to the way they were. But you're starting to understand that going back was never the point. And here's where it gets real fun. Just when you think it can't get any worse, just when you think you've hit rock bottom, life doubles down. Oh, it'll take more security, more comfort, more of what you thought you needed, and you'll be standing there watching it all slip away, wondering what the hell is going on. But that's the trick, see? That's how you know. Because if life was really against you, if this was really the end, why would it be making you stronger? Why would it be forcing you to let go of things that weren't truly yours? And here's the kicker. Most people won't see it. They'll just see someone struggling. They'll see you losing, not realizing you're being redirected. Because when something big is coming, life doesn't gently guide you to it. No, it shoves you. It throws you into the deep end and says, swim. And most people, they panic, they sink. But funny thing about life, just when you think you've got the right people around you, just when you start feeling safe, boom, they start disappearing. Oh, not all at once, no, that would be too easy. It starts small. A missed call here, a canceled plan there, and then, before you know it, the people you thought were permanent, ghost. See, when something big is coming, life has this charming little way of cleaning house for you. Oh, it doesn't ask for your permission. It doesn't send you a polite little warning. It just starts removing people. And you'll wonder why. You'll sit there thinking, what did I do? Why are they pulling away? Why does it feel like everyone is suddenly too busy, too distant, too different? But that's the joke, isn't it? It's not about you. It never was. People come with expiration dates. Some are meant to be in your story forever, but most are just passing through. And when life is about to upgrade you, it can't have the wrong characters sticking around. Oh no, that would ruin the plot. So, one by one, they start fading. Some leave quietly, some leave with a bang. Some betray you. That's a fun one, isn't it? The betrayal. Nothing like a good stab in the back to remind you that not everyone is meant to go where you're headed. And then there's the opportunities, the ones you were sure were meant for you. The job that seemed perfect, gone. The deal you thought was a sure thing, vanished. The doors that were wide open, slammed shut. And you start thinking, what the hell is going on? Why does it feel like every time you reach for something, it slips right through your fingers? Oh, but that's the twist, my friend. It's not slipping away. It's being removed. See, you don't lose what's truly meant for you. That's the big illusion. If something can be taken from you, if someone can walk away, they were never yours to begin with. Oh, but most people, they don't see it that way. No, they cling, they chase, they beg for things to go back to the way they were. Oh, that's cute, because life doesn't do backwards. No. It only moves forward. And it's got no patience for people and things that can't keep up. The real kicker? It's not just strangers who start acting different. Sometimes it's the ones closest to you. The ones who were cheering for you until you started growing. Oh, people love you when you're struggling, when you're just another face in the crowd. But the moment you start changing, the moment you start elevating, that's when it happens. The jealousy, the resentment, the fake smiles, you'll notice it. The way their energy shifts, the way they stop clapping for you, the way they suddenly have nothing to say when you start talking about your dreams. And here's the real punchline. Some of them don't even realize they're doing it. They're not villains in their own story, no. They just can't handle seeing you step into something bigger. Because if you do, what does that say about them? What does that say about the ones still making excuses, still playing small, still too afraid to take a risk? Oh, it's much easier for them if you stay the same. That way they don't have to face their own reflection. So life does you a favor. It starts peeling them away one by one. And you'll resist at first. You'll try to hold on. You'll try to understand. But eventually you'll realize this isn't loss. This is alignment. This is the universe making sure that when you step into your next chapter, you're not carrying dead weight. Because some people were only meant to be with you for the season you just left behind. And if they stayed, oh, they'd only hold you back. But most people, oh, they don't see the signs. They fight for what's already gone. They beg for doors that were never meant to stay open. They waste time chasing ghosts. But you're different, aren't you? Oh, life has a sense of humor, doesn't it? Just when you think you've got a handle on things, just when you start to feel a little comfortable, boom, here come the obstacles. Not the little ones, no. The big ones, the ones that make you question everything. The ones that don't just test your patience, oh no. They test you, who you are, what you're made of, how bad you really want it. See, when something big is coming, life doesn't roll out a red carpet. That would be too easy. No. Instead, it throws every possible challenge at you, like some twisted little game. And you start wondering why. You start asking, why is this happening to me? Why is nothing working? Why does it feel like every door is locked? Every road is blocked. Every step forward pushes you 2 steps back. Oh, but that's the trick, see? That's how you know something big is coming. Because the universe, oh, it doesn't waste energy testing people who aren't meant for more. No. The average ones, the ones who are fine staying where they are, life doesn't bother with them. But you're different. You're stepping into something bigger, something most people will never even get close to. And you think that comes without a price, without a little resistance? Ha, now that would be funny. So here come the obstacles, the unexpected bills, the broken car, the job loss, the betrayal from someone you trusted, the rejection letter you weren't expecting, the setback that leaves you staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m. wondering if it's all even worth it. And that's the moment, isn't it? The moment most people break, the moment they throw their hands up and say, maybe this just isn't for me. And that's exactly what life wants to see. Because here's the thing, when you're about to level up, life doesn't ask, are you ready? No. It shows you. It strips away the easy route. It forces you to prove it. You want more, you want better. Let's see what happens when everything falls apart. Let's see what you do when nothing makes sense. Let's see if you're gonna sit there crying about how unfair it all is, or if you're gonna get up and fight for it. Most people, oh, they don't fight. They fold. They say things like, maybe the universe is telling me to stop. Ha. That's cute, because life doesn't work that way. No, no, no. When things get harder, it's not a stop sign, it's a test. It's life asking, how bad do you really want it? Because everyone says they want something big, something great, but when the pressure comes, when the struggle shows up, that's when the truth comes out. That's when life sees who's really got what it takes. Oh, but here's the best part. Right when you think you're at your limit, right when you think you can't take one more thing, life throws in a little extra, just to see, just to make sure. And you, oh, you'll feel it. The frustration, the exhaustion, the doubt creeping in like an old friend whispering, maybe this isn't meant for you. But that voice, that's the final boss. That's the last trick. Because if you push through that moment, if you refuse to break, if you decide that no matter what, you're not stopping, oh, that's when the game changes. That's when the doors that were locked start opening. That's when the things that felt impossible suddenly aren't so impossible anymore. But most people, oh, they won't make it that far. They'll turn back. They'll settle. They'll spend their lives telling themselves it just wasn't meant to be. But you're different, aren't you? Oh, this is where it gets really interesting. You see, life has a funny way of playing tricks on you right before something big happens. Not the kind of tricks that make you laugh. Oh no. The kind that make you question everything. And the best part? It doesn't come from the outside. No, no, no. It comes from inside your own head. That's where the real fun begins. At first it's just a whisper, a little voice in the back of your mind saying, are you sure about this? Maybe it's not the right time. Maybe you're not ready. Maybe, just maybe, you're making a fool of yourself. And you shake it off at first. You tell yourself, no, I've got this. I know what I'm doing. But that voice, it doesn't go away. It grows. It gets louder. Then you start noticing things. Little details you used to ignore. The way people look at you. The way they hesitate before they speak. Are they doubting you? Are they laughing at you behind your back? Or worse, are they pitying you? And just like that, your mind starts spinning. What if they're right? What if you're not as good as you thought? What if this is all just one big, stupid mistake? And that's when it really hits you. The doubt, the uncertainty, you start second-guessing everything. Was this the right path? Are you wasting your time? Are you even good enough to do this? And let me tell you, most people, oh, they don't handle this part well. No, no. They start looking for signs, excuses. Maybe life is telling them to stop. Maybe the universe is saying, hey, buddy, this isn't for you. Oh, that's the joke, isn't it? Because life knows how to mess with your head. Oh, it's not enough to throw obstacles in your way. No, no, no. It has to get inside you, make you doubt yourself, make you question your own worth. Because that's the real battle. Not the challenges, not the failures, not the setbacks. No, no, no. Your own mind. That's what life is really testing. And let's be honest, most people fail right here. They get so close to something big, but instead of pushing through, they let the doubt win. They believe the little voice that says, "You're not good enough." They let the fear wrap around them like a warm, comfortable blanket. And then they quit. And they tell themselves it just wasn't meant to be. Oh, and they love saying that, don't they? It just wasn't meant to be. Ha! Ha! That's cute. Because what they don't realize is that the doubt wasn't a sign to stop. It was a sign that they were right there, right on the edge of something huge. And here's the real trick. The moment when the doubt is strongest, when you're this close to breaking, that's when you're the closest to your breakthrough. That's when life is waiting to see what you'll do. Will you fold? Will you run back to safety? Or will you push forward, even when your mind is screaming at you to turn back? Oh, that's the moment that separates the ones who make it from the ones who spend their lives wondering what if. But most people, oh, they don't see it that way. They think when the fear kicks in, it means they should stop. They don't realize that fear is proof that they're on the right track. That doubt is just a cheap little illusion designed to see if they'll flinch. But you ever notice how when something big is coming, the world starts whispering to you, oh, not in words, no, 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 that would be too easy. It's in the little things, the patterns, the coincidences that aren't really coincidences, the gut feelings that tug at you like an old friend trying to get your attention. Most people ignore it. Ha! They brush it off, call it a fluke, a trick of the mind. But you're starting to see it, aren't you? It starts with the numbers. You keep looking at the clock at the same time every day. 11:11.333.444. And it's not just once or twice. No, no, no. It happens again and again and again. Until you start wondering, what does it mean? Then there are the dreams. Oh, those are fun, aren't they? The strange ones. The ones that feel too real. The ones that leave you waking up in a cold sweat, heart pounding, because somehow, some way, it felt like a message, like someone or something was. Oh, and then there are the people. The people. The sudden encounters, the conversations that seem to come out of nowhere, yet they say exactly what you needed to hear. Some random stranger gives you advice so perfect, so timely, that you can't help but stop and think, was that just luck? Maybe? Or maybe life has a way of sending messengers when you least expect it. And let's not forget the gut feelings. Oh, those are my favorite. The moments where you just know something is about to happen. No evidence, no logic, just a deep, unshakable feeling that something is shifting, something is moving, and it isn't your imagination. But most people, oh, they ignore it, they shove it down, they call it anxiety, paranoia, nonsense, and so they miss it. They miss all of it. Because here's the joke. Life always gives signs before something big. It never just happens out of nowhere, but the signs, oh, they don't come with flashing lights. No, no, no. They're subtle. They're woven into the fabric of your days, slipping past you like whispers in the wind. And if you're too distracted, if you're too busy doubting, overthinking, ignoring, you'll miss them. And then when the big moment comes, when everything finally clicks, you'll look back and say, oh, it was there the whole time. But most people, they don't believe in signs. They call it luck, coincidence, chance. Ha, that's cute. Because deep down, they know. They've felt it before. That little nudge, that little voice telling them to go left instead of right, to take a chance instead of playing it safe, to trust the feeling instead of the logic. And when they don't listen, oh, they regret it. They always do. Because life will always tell you when something big is coming. The question is, will you pay attention, or will you be like the rest of them, blind to the very thing you were waiting for? Oh, here's where it gets real interesting. You see, right before something big happens, before life hands you what you've been waiting for, it does this one little thing. It gets quiet. And not the good kind of quiet. No, no, no. The unnerving kind. The kind that makes you sit in a room alone and hear nothing but your own thoughts bouncing off the walls. The kind that makes you feel like the whole world has forgotten about you. At first, you don't even notice it. A few unanswered texts here, a few missed calls there. You tell yourself, people are just busy. But then the silence starts to stretch. The people who used to check in, they're nowhere. The energy that used to surround you, gone. The opportunities that were almost yours, poof. And suddenly you start wondering, did I do something wrong? Did I take a wrong turn? Is this the part where it all falls apart? Ha! That's the trick, isn't it? Because this isn't the part where it ends. Oh, no, no, no. This is the part where it begins. But life doesn't tell you that. Oh no, that would be too easy. Instead, it leaves you alone. It strips away the distractions, the noise, the safety nets. It forces you to sit with yourself. And that? Oh, that's where most people break. Because when you're alone, when there's no one there to cheer you on, no one there to remind you that you're on the right track, that's when your mind turns on you. That's when the doubts creep in like old ghosts whispering, maybe this isn't working. Maybe you should give up. Maybe you've been fooling yourself this whole time, and that's when life watches, waits, and smiles, because it knows something you don't. You see, right before something big happens, life removes the noise. It takes away the crutches. It stops guiding you, stops nudging you, stops reminding you. It waits to see if you'll keep going anyway. 'Cause anybody can keep moving when the road is clear, when the signs are everywhere, when the whole world is clapping for them. But what about when it's just silence? What about when there's nothing but your own belief, your own drive, your own madness keeping you moving forward? That's the real test, isn't it? Most people, oh, they don't make it past this part. They sit in the quiet and mistake it for a dead end. They think life has abandoned them, when really, it's just stepped back to see what they'll do next. And so they quit, they turn around, they tell themselves, well, I guess it wasn't meant to be. But the funny thing, the moment right after they give up is when the breakthrough was about to happen. But they'll never know that now, will they? Because the silence, it's not emptiness, it's not rejection, it's preparation. It's life making sure that when the moment finally comes, when the doors finally open, you're not just some fool who stumbled into greatness. You earned it. You proved that you were willing to keep walking even when there was no proof that the road was still there. And That's the difference between the ones who make it and the ones who spend the rest of their lives wondering what if. But you, you're different, aren't you?